Stop for.
The buildings we're standing between here date back to the early days of the conversion of the site to a hospital, between about 1899 and the early 1900s. During this time period, they housed the stables, pharmacy and workshops for the Rydalmere Psychiatric Hospital. The decline of the hospital was long, with concerns about the treatment of mentally ill patients, including those at Rydalmere, appearing as early as the 1940s. In the second half of the 20th century, approaches to treating mental illness changed enormously, so that confinement in institutional environments became increasingly viewed unnecessary. In the last 20 years of the Rydalmere Psychiatric Hospital, the oldest building on this site, the Female Orphan School, was unused and suffered from vandalism and deterioration. Anecdotal evidence suggests that during this period, from about the 1970s onwards, that building in particular was occasionally inhabited by squatters who were former patients of the hospital, some of whom also lived under the railway bridge across the Parramatta River. By 1986, the number of residents had decreased to only 300, and the Rydalmere Psychiatric Hospital was closed just 3 years later in 1989. But now, if you peek through the gap between buildings EO and EK there, just looking to the west, you can see up some stairs and glimpse a low, long red building with a greyish roof. Before the site was used as a psychiatric hospital, it was a school for orphans. There were two distinct phases of the site as an educational institution. The earlier manifestation of this was as the Female Orphan School from 1813 to 1850. In this earlier period of time when the site operated as the Female Orphan School, less than 20% of the children here were actually parentless. According to records, 2/3 of the girls had one parent living, often a mother who was living in severe poverty. Indeed, many of the children in the New South Wales colony were living in poverty, and in some cases girls were taken in because one parent had died and their remaining parent was ill or unable to support them. Some Aboriginal children were admitted having been referred to the school by a clergyman or magistrate. Aboriginal children were also admitted to the native institution at Blacktown, and when this native institution closed in 1822, a number of Aboriginal children were transferred to the Female Orphan School here. Despite the name, in the latter years as the Female Orphan School, from about 1844 onwards, boys were housed here as well as girls. As circumstances meant that more male students were taken into the school, the facility changed its name to the Protestant Orphan School, operating as such from 1850 to 1886. The building you're looking at dates from this period, 1858, and was known as the Orphan School Hospital. At the Orphan School Hospital, there was a boys' ward located on the ground floor, and the matrons' quarters were on the second floor next to the girls' ward. When the entire site was converted from the Protestant Orphan School to a psychiatric hospital, its function became day rooms for patients. In the 1930s, the building itself was largely concealed as well, behind closed verandas, and it wasn't until the Western Sydney University renovations began at the end of the 20th century that the original structure beneath was uncovered again. And now, if you go up the stairs, walk to the right, and then in between the narrow passageway between buildings EM and EJD. Head towards the centre of the large grassy quadrangle surrounded by large jacaranda trees.